What is up, guys? Silver Warrior here, and today I just wanted to discuss how long I plan to be stacking silver for, and just kind of my plans overall with it. So, I've heard a lot of people, talking about their end game plan because it was a video response thing, and I've heard a lot of other people just talk about, just in general, their whole stacking plan, how long they've been stacking, what they plan on collecting, what their goals are, all that good stuff. And I wanted to kind of take that and put it into one video and just really discuss it. I mean, I've talked about how I got started before, but I've never really taken the time to sit down and say, this is how long I want to stack for, this is what I want to hope to get out of it, and all that good stuff, all into one, decently long video. So, first of all, I guess let me just explain, how I did get into stacking just a little bit if you haven't seen the video already, because I do have a video on my origins, because someone actually was talking to me. They're like, yeah, if you made a video on your origins, I would add it to my playlist. So I did that and everything a while back. But basically, I got started because for one, I saw the bigger thing out of the two was my dad, who lives in another state. This is the reason why which is going to be important a second later here, is because I say that he sent me coins because he does live somewhere else. But yeah, when I was a lot younger, he actually did send me things, like other things as well, like antique items and stuff. But also, he did send me some coins several years ago. He sent me for Christmas of end of 2013, I want to say. Yeah, end of 2013. He sent me a peace dollar, and from there, between that and me seeing an advertisement for gold bullion on a website, is really what just kind of got me started. I actually started to care about it a little bit. And at first, I didn't really know much. I didn't really know what I was doing. But then, as time went on, I started to get more and more into silver stacking to the point where I am now, which is, oh man, how long later? I want to say it's been about getting close to 3 years now since I got sent my first coins. But even before that, I'd kind of been interested in it a little bit. I think I did have other coins before that. I think that for maybe even up around 4 years now. But that was 3 years ago when I really started to get interested in coin collecting with silver coins. And, I think it was, I want to say, was it? I guess it was. Yeah, it was 2 years ago, I guess now. On my birthday, my dad sent me money and I went and bought my first two silver bars ever. And that's how my stack really got started, and from there I've continued to stack until now, where I have accumulated a decent amount of silver. Nothing, to brag about or anything, but enough to where I am comfortable with what I have accumulated so far and continue to plan on stacking. So that's kind of how I got into it. But anyway, my plans for the future, honestly, I plan on stacking for a lot longer. I don't plan on selling anytime soon unless there was a huge price bubble in which I could, make a really hefty profit compared to, what I paid. Or that basically just explain a profit, okay. Didn't need to do that. No, I just, making a situation where I could make enough money where it would be worth taking the risk of selling the silver and then buying it back, assuming that the price was going to go back down significantly, then I would do that. Or if I had to sell, if I got older or something and some kind of emergency came up that forced me to sell, I would do that as well. But other than that, I wouldn't really sell at all any bullion. I've sold coins just because of the fact that I really was able to make a decent amount of money off of them, and all of my coins are always, be able to be sold. My bullion, not so much. I'm really not going to sell that. I know I talked about before selling it, but I decided not to do that. And that was only because I wanted to get a kilo bar, which I realized would have been too difficult to do, and I probably would have lost so much money in translation that I wouldn't have gotten a kilo anyway. So, but my coins I do sell just because of the fact that I can buy them cheap enough to where I can make a profit from selling them. But anyway, that was just me getting completely sidetracked there. So to continue with what I was saying, I really don't have many plans to sell in the next 10 or 15 years. I plan to continue to hold silver bullion and hope that I'm able to continue buying it. Hope that nothing comes about like an economic collapse in the next years, because I really don't have a significant amount of silver to be prepared for it. And also, I'm never really hoping for something disastrous to happen, because the old saying, prepare or hope for the best and prepare for the worst. That's really what I'm doing with silver stacking. I'm not hoping that an economic collapse is going to come about so I can be like, I told you guys so. Like, I really don't want that to happen. I'm just preparing for it with silver bullion. Plus, it's just really good to hold on to, because even if an economic collapse never comes about, which is, very possible, well, at the very least, what we do see evidence of every day is inflation on our dollar, which it means that we're slowly losing our money. If you saved for the past 20 years, you've already lost a significant amount of your money. Or I should say, it was significantly harder to earn the money 20 years ago that you saved than it would be to earn now. So it has significant less value. Whereas silver, if you bought, let's say like you saved like $1,000, in 1990, right? Or like, 20 years ago would be 1996. So let's say in like 1996 you saved, $1,000 or whatever. If you bought silver with it, the amount of silver you could have bought compared to today, it would still, if anything, it would have made you money. You would have more value in silver. But at the very least, if inflation was 200% since 1996, then, which is not exact numbers, I'm just kind of, just for this point, say it's 200%, which would mean that $1,000 would be as hard to earn back then as earning $2,000 today, but the $1,000 would still be worth only $1,000 today. If you bought the silver, let's say silver was $4 an ounce, what would have happened is you could have bought with that $1,000 250 ounces of silver. Fast forward to today, and while the silver would cost the equivalent of $8 today, it still is at $17.50 an ounce right now, so that would have been over doubling it. So you would have, if you sold all your silver today, you would have over $4,000, which would be, over double of what you spent in equivalent terms, in inflation terms, to the silver. So that's a big reason why I stack as well, to protect my wealth, not just preparing for an economic collapse. But I do plan to probably hold on to my bullion. I really don't see, unless, like I said, a major event comes up, I don't ever see me selling it, just because of the fact that I'm not stacking to make a quick buck. I'm not buying bullion thinking that tomorrow it's gonna make me a millionaire, because I know that's not gonna happen. I'm not stupid. I mean, if silver were ever $1 million an ounce, it'd only be because of the simple fact that currency would become so insanely inflated that it would be, unusable at that point. Like in Zimbabwe, right? Ounce of silver, I don't even know if, you would be allowed to stack silver there anymore after the economy just got completely destroyed. But either way, an ounce of silver would cost you, like, I don't know, like I think like 100 trillion Zimbabwe dollars is worth like 15 US cents. So like it would cost you like $10 quintillion to buy 1 ounce of silver, something like that. Like that's again inflation. So that's the only thing that could ever make silver that insanely valuable. I know that it's never going to be insanely valuable in terms of today's currency. So that's just not a reason why I stack. I really don't think that should be something that you expect. So that's why I don't plan on selling my silver bullion anytime soon. Now, down the line, I do hope that, you see, maybe my stack might be partially sold, and here's the reason, because I use all of this silver bullion as savings, basically. Every time I make enough money, or I have enough money to buy a silver bar, the chances are I will, or unless I buy some coins or something like that. And of course, there's other things I buy too. I'm not just like 100% a silver stacker. Like, I'll buy things that I enjoy from time to time as well. I'm not gonna, pretend like that I'm just some like insane businessman who never spends any money on himself, because that's not true. I do. I mean, I've spent a decent amount of money on stuff that I enjoy as well. But overall, I usually will take, money, like, let's say, like $100 and get another 5-ounce silver bar, okay? Or another 5 1-ounce bar, something like that. And what I hope this will do for me in the future is it will allow me to, let's say, like, in the future I need, $1,000, something like that. And let's say silver's, let's say it's like 10 years down the line, and I need $1,000 for a car or something like that. Yeah, I'm going to buy a car, right? A new car, okay, and it's just a cheap car, it's nothing insane, and let's say a silver, is around $25 an ounce. What I could do is sell 40 ounces of silver, and then buy the car, because it will act like savings, and at any time I need to, it's very easy to liquidate silver bullion. It's not like silver coins, where you have to find the right person to buy it from you for the value that you want. with silver bullion, you can just liquidate it like that. I mean, it's really fast because anyone's willing to pay a little bit above melt value for silver bullion. Pretty much anyone will do that. If you put them up for sale, you could get takers very, very fast. Even on Craigslist, if you said, I'm selling the silver bullion for spot, any takers, people would come. And as long as it's not an emergency situation, you could even ask for a little bit of a premium on the bars. Be like, yeah, these are nice bars. You know, maybe give me a little bit of a premium. Because, I mean, even generic bars command a tiny bit of a premium because there's a work that goes into melting down the silver, purifying it entirely, pressing it, or pouring it, which commands an extremely high premium, but that's not generic anymore. But, you know, there's a little bit of premium that goes into it. So as long as you're not being forced to sold, which I hope I'm never in such a situation that, I hope I never put myself in a situation, I should say, where I am forced to sell silver immediately, then you could use it and get, you know, the exact same amount of money that you paid for, or even more out of it. And then you're good to go. I mean, you're not ever going to have to worry about having paper currency that's going to be inflated or anything like that because of the fact that silver, there's a limited amount of it in existence, so therefore silver is never going to become inflated like the dollar will. So that's kind of like the big reason why I do stack this bullion and everything like that. It's not to sell it in the future. I don't have plans in the future to, you know, become a millionaire. Like I said, I don't plan to become super rich off of silver bullion. I don't ever expect to make such a high amount of money that would ever happen for me. So anyway, I mean, I really don't know how much more to say. I mean, I said, you know, I'm going to discuss future plans with silver bullion. I think I did that pretty well. So I've discussed my origins a little bit for silver stacking. So yeah, I mean, I really do hope that you enjoyed the video, and that is it for this one. Peace, love, and much respect.